All right, welcome back to the Wholesome Financials podcast, where we are going through our client funding journey series. That's a
Yep.
mouthful. Where essentially we're going through each one of our clients, talking about the data points,
Yep.
where they're coming from, what industry they're in, how we got them funded, how much we got them funded, right?
Yeah.
So let's dive into our client, Elvis. What do we know about Elvis?
So Elvis is a full-time real estate investor.
Nice.
So he's
Nice.
in the fix and flip niche, if
Okay.
you want to call it.
Yeah.
And for context, he's in Louisiana, more
Okay.
specifically like New Orleans.
Who dat Saints? Sorry, if you know, you know. Okay, nice. Full-time real estate investor. And so did he need funding to, so if he's a full-time real estate investor, he needed funds to grow and push. And I'm
Yeah.
guessing he's in fix and flips?
Yes, like mentioned, he's in fix and flip. So essentially, he likes to get 2, 3, 4 properties under contract and
Yep.
kind of, rehab them all at the same time.
Yeah.
But without limited with limited funds, it's kind of hard to do 3 or 4 at the same time. So he wanted funding so that way he could, have all those
Yeah.
homes secured and make a big return at the end of 4, 5, 6 months.
That makes sense. You need a capital funding system, right? Especially in real estate if you want to
Yeah.
grow, because you don't want to be over leveraged. And if a deal pops up, you want to be able to take advantage of it.
Exactly. That's what he always said. He was like, I have a deal right here. I could just pick it up, but I need some cash.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So how much did he need funding from us?
He wanted around 120.
Okay.
And where he is, the homes are like 150.
Yeah. Oh, so he's buying in Louisiana around that.
Yes,
that area.
exactly.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. So
Nice.
he wanted about 120 when we got started.
That makes sense. I mean, you don't need that much for fix and flips anyway, especially in a market like that, right? If you're in a major metropolitan city trying to do fix and flips, I could see
Yeah.
need for more capital. But with 120,000, you can do a lot of damage and
Absolutely.
grow his portfolio a lot. So that's good. All right, so so he needed funds for the down payment on fix and flips, and he needed money for renovations, right?
Exactly. Yeah. That's where the bulk of the money would be going to.
Okay, nice. So, all right, the question everybody wants to know: where we get him funded and how much we get him funded. So, what are the
Yeah.
data points? Where do we
Yeah.
go first?
So we went to Chase. So for starters, his credit was perfect. Like he had already done his work and his due diligence prior to joining our program.
What's that look like? A good
yeah.
a good credit profile that's ready to go.
Yeah, let's talk about it. So his utilization was extremely low.
Okay,
It was
against
like
all of his cards all together.
no, each card was less than 10%.
Okay,
Okay.
nice.
Inquiries, he had already gone through like an inquiry sweep type of credit repair program. So he had hardly any inquiries on his credit report.
Nice.
Okay. He had a lot of age because he's been in the credit game for a while. So he had about 3-5 years worth of credit age. So we
Nice.
didn't actually need to add anything as far as like authorized users or anything.
Yeah, that's good.
No late payments, no charge-offs, no collections. I mean, just a beautiful profile. And of course, his limits were pretty high with some of the major banks. Like,
Yeah.
I believe he had already a Chase personal card. He had an American Express personal card. He had Navy Fed. Like,
So
he
his-
had a pretty stacked credit profile.
So his profile was clean, ready to go, and then he also already started developing relationships with these major banks.
On the personal side, yeah.
Nice, that's fantastic. That's a major hack. If you're
Yeah.
thinking about doing 0% interest funding, getting business credit cards, you want to establish a relationship with the bank as soon as possible. Put money into an account, open up an account. So when you double back, when you ask them for, hey, Mr. Chase, can I have some funds? They're not going to be like, who dat, right? I had to bring back the New Orleans reference one more time. But you get the point. So that makes sense. Okay. All right. So 75K from Trace. That's awesome. What
Yeah.
else?
We got him, like mentioned, 75K from Chase. That was the first bank we went to.
Yeah.
We went to Truist. There's a Truist in Louisiana.
Nice. Yeah.
as-
Because regional bank. So it's out there in that area, East Coast, down south.
Exactly. So we got him 25K with Truist. And then since he already had a relationship with Amex, on the personal side, we got him a 19K line of credit
Nice.
with American Express.
Nice. That's fantastic. That's fantastic. All right. And was that it? Did we stop there?
And then we also got him 3K with Elon Financial.
Okay, we'll talk about Elon Finch because most people don't realize or know who Elon is. If you've been listening to this podcast, you probably heard us talk about it before, but just in case it's the first video you clicked on for our podcast, give people some background on Elon Financial and how they can be a great asset when it comes to acquiring funds for your business.
Yeah, absolutely. So Elon Financial is just an underwriter. So what happens is a lot of banks who are smaller, like smaller credit unions or just more regional banks, they'll outsource their underwriting
Yeah.
to a company like Elon Financial.
Okay.
So essentially, you'll go to a XYZ credit union in your state, and then you notice when you're applying for a credit card, at the bottom of the credit card application, it'll say Elon Financial.
Nice. Okay.
So it's one of those 50-50 banks because you don't actually form a relationship with like an institution. It's just an online application.
Okay.
And so the limits could be random sometimes. I've seen as high as like 50K, 25K, but on the lower end, 3K.
Okay.
And we've tested it with, lower end 700 credit scores to higher end 800s. And
Yeah.
it doesn't really matter as far as like credit strength. It's
Yeah.
more like a crazy algorithm that's kind of doing these applications.
Yeah.
It doesn't hurt to try because,
Yeah.
again, you don't need like a bank account or anything like that. And they pull from TransUnion if anybody wants to know exactly what bureau they pull from.
Yeah. I think we have a list of lenders in.
Yeah, we have a list of the major banks and credit unions and where they pull from. So we can definitely add that as a resource for those who need it.
Absolutely. Awesome. Okay. So we got him a lot of funding. How long did it take him to get that funding?
So Elvis, I believe from the beginning of us starting to the end, took about a month.
Nice. Oh, that's great. I mean, because he was already optimized and ready to go.
Yeah,
That's what normally takes more time.
Exactly. So let's dive into as to why it even took us a month.
Yeah.
Number one, he didn't have a Chase business account open. So the strategy that we like to use that has worked perfect for us is making sure we open a business account before we actually apply.
Gotcha. Yeah.
And we let it season with at least 5K, 10K, 15K, whatever the client has for at least 30 days.
Yeah.
You could do sooner.
Yeah.
You could apply same day. However, the results might be skewed or just not as favorable.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
That makes sense. So you can have a relationship. Now that's the thing is that's different with Chase versus like Amex. Because if you have a personal relationship with Amex, that's good enough, right?
Exactly. So with Amex, I already knew we were gonna get an easy approval because he already had a personal Amex card.
Yeah.
So it's literally just a matter of applying on the business side. Now, the reason why we didn't apply for a 0% business Amex card was because he has like 3 different LLCs and he's already exhausted those 0% options with those other LLCs.
Gotcha.
So I said, let's use a different strategy and go for the line of credit, which honestly, with real estate fix and flip investors, it's a little bit more attractive because it's hard cash into their account anyways. So he was stoked about it, and the interest rate is like super low, and it's only given of whatever amount you draw from.
Yeah.
So like we got him 19K, but he's only paying interest on 5K if he chooses to draw 5K from the account.
That makes sense. And I agree with you. This is the best funding strategy if you are in real estate, fix and flips regarding or Airbnb. Like just because this particular funding model or strategy gives you access to that capital very, very quickly.
Exactly.
0% interest for 12 to 18 months. And if you're doing that type of real estate transactions, you don't need 12 to 18 months in order to pay that card back. And it's a revolving line of credit.
Exactly. I mean, definitely if you know what you're doing, right? Seasoned investors, or even if you're newbie, but you're under the guidance of someone who's, teaching you.
Yeah.
You don't want to sit on a fix and flip for more than 12 months. Something's going on.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. Yeah, that's not a fix and flip. That's a fix and lay down. Yeah. That's not a good one. I love it. Okay, anything else noteworthy from Elvis's process or journey or us just working with him?
Yeah, I think one thing honestly about Elvis, he was like super persistent. And he's probably the most on top person I've ever met.
Nice.
So to give context, he would literally text us every day. Just kind of following up like, hey, what's next? And so whatever I asked him to do, he was on it. I was like, hey, I need you to open an account with Chase and Truist. And he was like, on it.
Nice.
By the end of the day, he would give me, feedback report saying, I'm done, I'm done, I'm done. Which honestly is amazing because we can get started right away once we do that. We can get
Yeah.
the funding quick. Now, if the person lags and they don't go, and then maybe the weekend, and then the weekend turns into 2 weeks, then now we're delayed with the funding. But again, it all falls on the client's court, if
Yeah.
you want to look at it
Which
that way.
that's something important to note because, and I don't know if you guys are familiar, if you guys have worked with any other funding companies, they'll charge like a 10% fee on the
Yeah.
back end from the card, right? But it's because 9 times out of 10, it's a done for you service. They're taking all your info and they're shotgunning that thing, trying to get you as much funding as possible. Which the downside I don't like about that method is because you can have all this funding, but if you're not ready to use it, then the term already starts, the 0% term already starts. And like that's the best part about the strategy. But for us, because we charge a flat fee, like we don't do a done for you service. It is based on our client, making sure like they're good. We do a lot of hand holding and checking in and make sure you're ready to go.
Absolutely.
But that's the trade off. You can have it like a hands off service, but you 9 times out of 10 you're gonna pay that 10% versus
Yeah.
if you're involved in the process, then I could see how you get something cheaper, like a flat fee.
Yeah. Which honestly, I think the 10% can really add up if, you want 200, 250.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
And it's like, well, shoot, you're already down 20K if you get 200 before you even invest in your fix and flip.
Yeah. Which,
So,
I mean, the model is like, I got nothing wrong with the model at all. We feel more comfortable doing the flat fee. It's easier. And so, anyway, it's not, it just makes for a better relationship, I think.
yeah.
All right, so that's Elvis, real estate investor, got him 120K. Chase, Truist, Elon, Amex, gave him the full soup, and he's been able to expand and grow his portfolio because now he has access to a capital funding system. And if you are a real estate investor, we encourage you to apply to work with us if you're looking to create a funding system. I'm not even going to say if. You need to apply with us to work and build this system out so that you don't miss out any deals when they pop up, especially as the market changes in 2025, which is huge. All right, let's get to some just quick personal question real quick before we get out and then call it a day, huh?
Let's do it.
All right. You want to go first or want me to go first?
I'll go first.
All right. What you got?
What's one business idea that you've thought of pursuing but never actually pursued?
Long distance real estate investing. I read a book from the BRR team, for Bigger Pockets team, one of those guys, I can't remember his name, bald head guy, cool dude. And he talked about how to invest in real estate long distance. And he's like, if the numbers match up and you have a good team in place, then it should be good. Like anything, right? If you got a system and then you can identify a good deal. And we just never pulled the trigger on it. But I learned so much about it, and I'm still interested in it. I love the idea. But for him, the premise was he was able to buy properties, never even see them. He was like, I'm gonna fly out. He's like, I own houses I've never seen before.
Yeah.
But it's because I have a solid team to walk through it, real estate agent, contractor, things like that. So that's one idea that I've always thought about, but haven't put the trigger on.
Nice. Okay, cool.
All right, question for you.
What you got?
What tools or software would you recommend when it comes to think about something in our business, payroll?
Payroll, absolutely. So, personal experience, we use Gusto. It's amazing. It's super, super easy, beginner friendly. And it's, I think, one of the cheapest on the market.
Yeah.
I think it's $42 to have your payroll processed. And each employee, I believe, is like $6.
Nice.
So,
okay. Is that the only software we use?
as far as payroll, yes.
Okay.
Yeah. We thought about ADP in the past, but ADP is actually a little bit more. They're like $100 a month as opposed to $52 a month with Gusto.
Yeah. And we'll put links to both of those in the chat so you can, or in the description below or the show notes so you can check those out if you're interested in that.
Yeah, absolutely. So I think, if you're at that level where you need to pay yourselves or you have employees, you need to have payroll, you need to have a W-2 set in place. I think one of these companies is going to be your best friend.
Nice. All right. Well, we appreciate you sticking in with us. We just love going over these case studies. We'll have more content coming out on the channel. And so reach out to us if you want to apply to work with us. Click the link below to to log into to apply for our business funding application. If you just have questions in general, shoot us a message or consume all the content that we put out on this YouTube channel for free. We give you guys these trainings, these case studies, these how-tos, because we want to make sure you're as equipped as possible. So anyway, till then, we will see you in the next one. Later.
See you guys.